I'm really pleased with the way I controlled this situation, and I kept my mind on the job throughout. I guess you could say I brought the prize down safely, and I am absolutely delighted.
Angela, Arthur, Austin, Lorraine, Eddie, Jenny, Tony, Samantha, Gary, Jez, Karen, Kate, Lucinda, Jules, Maeve, Mary, Steve, Ravi, Rose, Sarah, Nicholas, Sapphire, Tim, William.
Yes, Anne, I didn't do as well as I could have. I certainly could have done better. It was a bad round for me, yes. I think I let the others' attitude towards me affect me. I was getting too flustered in case they thought I was taking too long to answer or something. It's silly, really, because I don't normally let people influence me like that. It must have been the occasion. And Anne, I have to say, she really frightened the life out of me. I'm sorry, Anne, but he just seemed to be the one who was always getting things wrong. I think the number of questions that she got wrong has really let us all down. He was a little bit slow in answering a few too many times. I understand that people want to make sure before they answer, but she seems to hesitate too long over every question. I just think he could have banked a bit more for us. I had hoped by now we'd have had more money behind us, but I don't think she's been banking as often as she might. I normally get along with people from all walks of life, but he and I just don't seem to be settling down and working together very well. I don't quite know why, but she and I haven't really seemed to hit it off at all, and I think the whole team will probably work more smoothly without her. They do seem rather good, so I'm rather ashamed to say that I think I might have more chance of winning if they aren't here. I'm sorry, but I suppose that's the way it has to be. I didn't like the way the voting went at all. We were supposed to be a team, but I don't think the others saw it like that. People were too concerned with looking out for themselves. I don't really think people like that deserve to win anything at all. I think I misheard one or two of the questions. I think perhaps the pressure affected me a bit. Yes, I'm afraid I seemed to be rather nervous. I did far better than I'd expected to, really. In fact, I'm quite surprised that I managed to answer as many questions as I did. It's easy at home, but when you're here, terrifying. I'll go first. I'll go second. Well, if that's the way people want to see it. I don't think I was as bad as it's been made out. I'm afraid I think the others are being a bit unfair and making me a scapegoat. I'm Angela, 43, a local government officer from Norwich. I like long walks in the countryside and watching the birds in my garden. It's been a lovely day anyway, but winning makes it even better. It all comes a bit of a shock to me. I've never won anything before, not even a raffle. I don't know what I'll spend the money on, but I know I'll enjoy it.
At this rate, we'll never get started. Is it a bit complicated for you? Are the words too hard for you? Are we a little bit confused? Shall we all take a nap while you go on deciding? Oh dear, decisions are not your major forte, are they? At this rate, we'll never get started. Do you want to get someone to read it out loud to you? Heaven knows what'll happen if I ask you something difficult. Hardly the decisive type, are you? That means you are today's strongest link, and you go away with the prize money. You leave with nothing. As the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first. Let's play the weakest link. If you answer this correctly, you have won. You need to answer this correctly to stay in the game. We now go into a sudden death situation. The questions will continue in pairs. If one of you gets your question correct, then the other will have to answer correctly or lose. Let's play sudden death. Not very good, were you? So what happened? Shameful. Not a good round at all. Any excuses for that performance? Not exactly a scintillating performance, team. Well, didn't get many right, did you? I'm surprised you've got this far. That was hardly brilliant, was it? Dear, dear, that was a shocker. My goodness, what a disaster. Didn't really do the business there, did you? So, what went wrong? Didn't you like the questions? A pretty lackluster performance. I imagine you're pretty embarrassed right now. That was, in a word, appalling. I cannot imagine how your family will feel watching this. Perhaps you didn't hear the questions properly. I think I'd feel rather ashamed if I were you. Well, not much of a contribution there, was there? I'd say that was a disaster. Do you actually understand the idea of the game? You do know, do you, you're supposed to give the right answers? Was that the best you could do? I have to say, I am at a loss for words. Rather let the others down in that round, didn't you? A somewhat substandard performance, I think you'll agree. Well, that was interesting. I don't think I've ever seen the game played that badly before. What on earth was going on there? Goodbye. Goodbye. goodbye, 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 goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Welcome to the weakest link. 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 Oh dear, just the one player. Don't you have any friends? There's more than one of you. Well, at least you can't all be voted off in round one. Are you sure the championship is not for intellectual lightweights? Yes, you probably do need to cheat. Ah, so the standard settings aren't good enough for you. Interesting choice. That's not who I'd have chosen. I thought you were supposed to know something about science. A rocket scientist you are not. Now, you told us you were interested in history. Keep performing like that, and that'll be what you'll be. Leisure is meant to be your specialist subject. Clearly, you didn't do any work preparing. For someone whose specialist subject is politics, that was a dismal performance on a showing like that. I'd expect to be voted out yourself. Now, you said people was your subject, but I think perhaps you've made a mistake, because you don't even appear to know your own name, let alone anyone else's. I thought you were an expert on places. I'm amazed you could even find your way to the studio today. You told us, apparently, that nature was your specialist subject. Do you even know what the word means? Art is supposed to be your specialist subject, but I doubt you could tell the difference between a watercolour and a matte vinyl. Now, you told us you were interested in literature. Was that a fantasy, perhaps? Because I'm beginning to wonder if you've ever read a book at all. For someone whose specialist subject is sport, that was a pretty amazingly poor performance. If I was on your team, I'd want to transfer immediately. For someone of your age, you do seem remarkably uninformed. You'd think you might have at least learnt something from your job. What sort of questions did you think you were going to get? Obviously not the sort I've asked you. Is your hearing going? Because you don't seem to have understood a single question I've asked you. I thought as a student you'd at least be an expert on television, but you obviously don't even watch the box. Someone of your age should have known the pop music questions, if nothing else. Some questions too hard for you. Is that it? Tell me, how are your grades at school? Perform like that in your exams and there'll be a lot of resits for you. Tell me, did you actually go to school? Did you ever pass any exams? You did go to university, did you? You actually got a degree. Well, you don't seem to know anything about your specialist subjects, let alone anything else. Well, you haven't managed to pick up any knowledge at all from your hobbies. If you perform as badly as that at work, I'm amazed you've managed to hold down a job at all. Tell me, was I speaking a language you don't understand? Was that the problem? Let me see if I've got this clear. In your job, you actually give advice to other people. I find that pretty scary. I wonder how your customers and clients are going to feel. Do you think they'd be encouraged by your outstanding performance here today? After that performance, I imagine your family are all rushing out to change their names to avoid embarrassment. And tell me, what do you do with your spare time? Clearly, you don't spend it keeping up with current affairs. I think perhaps you ought to get out a bit more, then you might have a better idea of what's going on in the world. Tell me, do you think you'll be able to find your own way home? Because your knowledge of geography is pretty suspect. Tell me, do you only write for newspapers as opposed to reading them? Maybe you should change the one you read, and you might be a bit better informed. I am, of course, assuming you do read a newspaper. Could I suggest you buy a radio? Then perhaps you could answer at least some of the music questions. The first question is for £250. The first question is for £500. The first question is for £2,500. You will answer first. You are the strongest link remaining, and you will answer first. Start the clock. Time is up. You could have won £2,500. And bagged your £2,500 target. That was an absolutely pathetic amount banked. Not a very impressive total, team, in the least. Well, allegedly the weakest links are gone, and still you only get this much. You very nearly reached your target. Time's up. Now, you could have won £10,000 in that round. You reached and banked your £10,000 target. Time's up. You could have won £30,000. You reached and banked your £30,000 target. Time's up. You could have won £125,000. You reached and banked your £125,000 target. That money will go through to the next round, but one of you will not. Today's prize money is shown at the bottom of your screen. Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £2,500 target within the time limit. Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £10,000 target within the time limit. Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £30,000 target within the time limit. Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £125,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 7 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward.
Yes, I admit I took my eye off the ball there. I would like a chance to redeem myself. I'm pretty sure I can do better than that. At least I hope I can. I really should have done better. Very disappointing. I feel I let myself down. It's about time some older folk had a bit of success on the show, and I was hoping it might be me. Oh well, never mind. Unfortunately, he made too many rather simple mistakes. I'm afraid she's simply getting too many things wrong. He seemed to be a bit slow off the mark a lot of the time. I don't think she's very confident in herself, and so wastes too much time each time you come to her, Anne. As a bank manager, I know the importance of money, but unfortunately he doesn't seem to. In terms of accumulating money for the team, I don't think she's made enough regular deposits. He doesn't really seem to be fitting in with the rest of us. I'm used to having a team around me who know how to work together. For things to work smoothly, you need people who enjoy working as a team, and I don't really think she does. It's a part of the game, isn't it? You've got to do whatever's necessary to win, and if that means getting rid of someone who might beat you, then so be it. I don't really think it's on, to be honest. I'm fairly sure I wasn't the weakest link, certainly not overall. Perhaps the others felt threatened by a more mature mind. I have to say, I can't help feeling they'll regret it looking at some of those who've remained. None of them seem particularly outstanding to my mind. I just never seemed to get going that time, Anne. The tension of the situation rather distracted me, I'm afraid. I think I did probably get the most difficult questions in that round. I'm rather disappointed to be going, of course, but it's been a splendid day nevertheless. Everyone has really been most welcoming. I do hope the others managed to do well, despite everything. I'll go first. I'll go second. As a matter of fact, I thought I did rather well, actually. There are certainly others who underperformed in comparison. As a matter of fact, I thought I did rather well, actually. My name is Arthur, I'm 66, and I'm a retired bank manager from Hove. I enjoy watching television, especially current affairs programs, and like visiting the countryside whenever I can. I'm still not sure I believe it. The money is nice, of course, but it's the satisfaction of a job well done. I haven't even thought about what I'll spend it all on. Perhaps I need a nice cup of tea first. And a chat with my good lady wife, of course.
You're not much use when it comes to technology, are you? Got lots of time to waste, have we? Would you like someone to press the buttons for you? Hurry up. Are you going to play or not? Well, what are we waiting for? If you take this long in the game, your stay with us will be very short. Come on, hurry up. It's not really that difficult. Do you honestly expect to be able to win being this slow? I suggest you get on with it. Sometime this week would be nice. It's time to vote off the weakest link. Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link. Why this person? Why did you vote for him? Why did you vote for her? With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. With 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. With 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. With 5 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. With 6 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. You have the most votes. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. We have a tie. When the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. As the strongest link, you get to choose. So, who will it be? It looks very much like you voted off a rival.
Yes, I know I can do better. No, it doesn't look too good, does it? Oh dear, that was a bit of a disaster. I just know that last round is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Really daft I was. Fancy not knowing some of those questions. I'm going to get a lot of stick from the family when I get home, I can tell you. We simply can't afford to keep getting as many wrong as he did. I'm pretty sure she was the culprit for most of the wrong answers in that round. Time is of the essence, and he's just too slow. I think we need people on the team who are much more decisive than she is. We need to keep building the pot up, but he seems to have forgotten that, so we're getting nowhere. I think she missed too many chances to build up money for us in that round. I'm not sure his sense of team spirit is really there. I don't think he's really with us. Perhaps she's just a bit too interested in not being voted off rather than working as part of a team. But that's not the way to succeed, and my guess is we'll probably do much better without her. Although it's not perhaps the ideal situation, the game does demand a certain ruthlessness. Unfortunately, that does involve voting off people who you think might be potential rivals, and that's the case here. Why was I voted off? That's what I'd like someone to tell me. I mean, no one else out there is any great shakes. It's not very charitable, I know, but it's a comfort to know that whoever wins won't be taking home as much money as they could have if they'd kept me on the team a bit longer. I felt I was being rushed a bit, made to hurry. In all honesty, I think my questions were a bit on the difficult side. My mind just seemed to go blank. I thought I knew it, but naturally, being voted off is disappointing. But having said that, someone's got to lose. The whole experience was a pleasure, but as for who's going to win, I couldn't really say. They all seem pretty evenly matched to my mind. I'll go first. I'll go second. I do think I'm being rather singled out when others haven't done nearly as well. I can't believe that statistically I'm the worst. Perhaps you should ask some of the others what they feel they've contributed. I'm Austin, age 41, from Walsall. I'm a civil servant. I take a strong interest in local politics and I write for my local paper. The whole thing's been a thrill, just coming on the show, meeting all the people. Seeing Anne, of course. But to win it, I can't believe it.
Nah, straight up, I did rubbish. No word of a lie, I was very poor. Well, fair dues, I let everyone down in that round. Nah, I blew it. Know what I mean, blimey, some of them questions I got wrong. Still, you gotta laugh, I suppose. I don't know what my missus will say, though. I'll be working overtime for a year to make up for the dosh I blew today. He'd never make it as a cabbie. I mean, he keeps going down too many blind alleys, know what I mean? It's obvious, innit? I mean, did she get any right in that round? Waiting for him to answer was worse than being stuck in a traffic jam on a North Circular. My old gran could have answered quicker than she did. Gordon Bennett, if my meter clocked up the money as slowly as he did, I'd be broke in a week. If she tips as badly as she builds up money, remind me never to pick her up in my cab. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll get along with everyone. I mean, you got to, but some people, blimey, you wouldn't want them in the back of your cab going round south of the river late at night, know what I mean? Well, I could tell straight off she was going to be trouble. I mean, I'm good like that, sussing people out, and that's where we want her, out of the team. Look, Anne, no one gets nowhere in this world playing Mr. Nice Guy. If someone looks like they might cause you a bit of grief, you got to take them out. Nothing personal, it's business, innit? I'm absolutely gutted. I think my treatment was diabolical. I banked loads of dosh and one bad round and I'm out on me ear. It's bleeding disgrace. God, I hope none of them wins it. I thought the questions I got were a bit rough. Blimey, I mean, a man don't get a chance to think out here. I was having a go, you know, it's just things didn't go my way. No, I was just happy to help out, you know, I mean, I got the pot up a bit, so that's all right. Well, I would have liked to have stayed on a bit longer, but there you go. Good luck to the rest of them. I'll go first. I'll go second. Leave out, Anne. I know for a fact I was not the weakest in that round. You're having a laugh, aren't you? Others did far worse than me. You're having a laugh, aren't you? Others did far worse than me. I'm Barry, 38, and I'm a London cabbie from Catford, South London. I like DIY, travelling abroad, and watching Crystal Palace. Well, I'm over the moon. I mean, I did really well. Top performance, eh? Early doors, it was a bit dodgy, but I got my act together at the end, and, well, I'm absolutely delighted.
Aye, I were not at my best there, no. You're absolutely right, Anne, that were awful. No, I were poor there, no mistaking. By heck, were a flaming fool I were. Can you imagine getting some of those questions wrong? I must look right daft. Oh well, the lads at depot are in for a laugh. I'm not looking forward to show my face in there, I can tell you. He gets so many things wrong. I'd hate to follow his directions. You want Penzance, you'd end up in Pontefract. No one could expect to get 'em all right, but by gum, you expect a bit better than what she did. He was so slow. I thought his handbrake was stuck on. I don't want to be sexist-like, but she was the typical woman driver. No idea where she's going and takes all bleeding day about it. If he stayed, I reckon we'd end up with nowt in bank. I hope she has someone looking after her finances for her, because if that's how she is with money, she'll end up with nowt in her old age, I can tell you. The way I see it, If I wouldn't want to share my cab with him on a long journey, I don't want him on my team. So I think he should get out here. When I see a hitchhiker, I always have a good long look at him before I decide whether to pick him up. I'm afraid I would have left her stood by the side of the road. By heck, they're a classy act, Dan. I've no chance of even getting out at depot if I'm playing against them, so I'm going to give them a puncher right now and vote them off. By heck, I'm flaming annoyed I am. I don't know what they're thinking of. They won't be able to manage without me. One bad round and I'm out on me ear? That can't be right. No, I'm very disappointed all round. I were too busy worrying about if we'd banked enough. I were too busy worrying about if we'd banked enough. I were too busy worrying about if we'd banked enough. No, it doesn't matter that I didn't win. It were right good fun and we all had a laugh together, so that were the main thing. And it were a grand day out too, so no complaints. I'll go first. I'll go second. There's some people here seem to have gotten out right. I banked loads in the previous round, so I reckon I deserve a fair go. I tell you, I'm doing a damn sight better than some I could mention. Hello, my name's Eddie and I'm 42. I live in Warrington and I'm a long-distance haulier. I'm interested in all forms of general knowledge and love competing in pub quizzes. I'm absolutely delighted. All those hours alone in me cab practising, so worthwhile now. The missus will be chuffed.
Yep, yeah, I could have done better, Anne. Yeah, complete disaster, yeah. It all went a bit pear-shaped that time. I'm just a bit, because I reckon I was doing really well, and then your mind starts drifting off, and the next thing you're doing that walk of shame, which is definitely not to be recommended. It's a real bummer. But, I blew it, so that's the price you got to pay. You got to be able to get some of them right, but, he just kept blowing it. Did she get any right in that round? Doubt it. Too unsure of himself. Took too long. You just got to do it, She needs to do a bit of positive thinking, learn to make up her mind more quickly or something. I'm here for some cash, and I don't reckon he banked a penny that round. I know students who are better at banking money than she is. The vibes I'm getting from him are not very positive. It's like he doesn't want to be a winner. I like people with energy around me. I could just tell, she wasn't up for it. And when you see that, well, what can you do? They're good, yeah. Too good. Gotta go then. Know what I mean? It's like the others just wanted to get me off, I don't know why. That's their problem. I'm pretty happy with what I did, so if they weren't, then I guess it's up to them. Well, some of this stuff I'm just not into, Hey, I'm not the only one messing things up. Well, some of the others need to think about what they're doing too. Oh, well, it's all pretty okay in the end. The people are all right, and it was a bit of a buzz being in the middle of the studio and everything. It was good. I hope they all do all right. I'll go first. I'll go second. Yeah, well, if you say so, Anne. I just don't think it's cool to give people a hard time and all that. I know there's some others here not giving it their all. I'm Gary, 21. I'm a graduate living in Bristol. I'm into martial arts, movies, and clubbing with my mates. Yeah, winning's really cool. It's like I did pretty well on everything, and I suppose, things just happen for me. Looking forward to the dosh. Yeah. God, that'll come in handy.
Let's play the weakest link.
Arthur banked the most in that round. Eddie banked the most in that round. Gary banked the most in that round. Lucinda banked the most in that round. In that round, Maeve banked the most money. In that round, Ravi banked the most money. Sapphire banked the most in that round. In that round, Tony banked the most money. In that round, William banked the most money. Angela was the player that banked the most. Austin banked more than anyone else. Barry banked the most money. Jenny banked more than anyone else. Jez banked more than anyone else. Jules banked more than anyone else. Karen banked the most money. Kate was the player that banked the most. Lorraine banked the most money. Nicholas was the player that banked the most. Rose banked more than anyone else. Samantha banked the most money. Sarah banked the most money. Steve was the player that banked the most. Tim banked more than anyone else. Any one of the rules below can be selected by moving up and down and adjusted by moving left and right. You are through to round 1 of the championship with prize money of £20,000. You are through to round 2 of the championship with prize money of £80,000. You are through to round 3 of the championship with prize money of £240,000. You are through to the final of the championship with prize money of £1 million. Any one of the options below can be selected by moving up and down and pressing the spacebar. Of the 24 people preparing for today's show, any one can be chosen to play for the prize money by highlighting that character and pressing the spacebar. You can start the game at any time by pressing the Enter key. Angela, aged 43, a local government officer from Norwich. Arthur, aged 66, a retired bank manager from Hove. Austin, aged 41, a civil servant from Walsall. Barry, aged 38, a cabbie from Catford. Eddie, aged 42, a long-distance haulier from Warrington. Gary, aged 21, a graduate living in Bristol. Jenny, aged 31, a receptionist from Guildford in Surrey. Jez, aged 16, still at school and living in Longford in Kent. Jules, aged 21, a fashion design student from London. Karen, aged 25, a secretary from Romford in Essex. Kate, aged 22, a medical student living in Edinburgh. Lorraine, aged 40, a PE teacher from Glasgow. Lucinda, aged 39, runs a catering business in Kensington. Maeve, aged 28, a barmaid from Cork. Nicholas, aged 45, a commodities trader from Chalfont St Giles in Buckinghamshire. Ravi, aged 24, a trainee accountant from Leicester. Rose, aged 59, a housewife and grandmother from Luton. Samantha, aged 20, a retail manager from Taunton. Sapphire, aged 38, an interior designer from Oxford. Sarah, aged 47, a journalist from Harrogate. Steve, aged 37, a police constable from Northampton. Tim, aged 29, a programmer from Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire. Tony, aged 39, a recruitment consultant from Chichester. William, aged 35, an air traffic controller from Red Hill. As a single player, you may now select your contestant to play the weakest link. The team have to rely on their memories and instincts when they make this decision. The team must rely on their memories and instincts when they make this decision. Angela is the strongest link. Statistically, the strongest link is Arthur. Austin is the strongest link in that round. Barry is the strongest link in that round. Eddie is the strongest link. Gary is the strongest link in that round. Statistically, Jenny is the strongest link. Jez is the strongest link statistically. The strongest link is Jules. Karen, statistically, is the strongest link in that round. Kate is the strongest link. Lorraine is statistically the strongest link. Statistically, Lucinda is the strongest link. Maeve is the strongest link in that round. Statistically, Nicholas is the strongest link. Ravi is the strongest link statistically. Rose is statistically the strongest link. Samantha is the strongest link. The strongest link is Sapphire in that round. Sarah is the strongest link. Statistically, the strongest link is Steve. Tim is the strongest link. The strongest link is Tony. Statistically, the strongest link is William. But will the votes follow the facts? But at this stage of the game, will the rest of the team have noticed? But how will the votes go? Will this help when it comes to voting? Will the votes follow the statistics? But will the team be aware of this? But whose game is now over? But will the team notice that? Who will collect the votes this time? But will the voting reflect reality? Angela is the weakest link in that round. Arthur is the weakest link. Austin is the weakest link in that round. In that round, Barry is the weakest link. Eddie is the weakest link. The weakest link is Gary. In that round, Jenny is the weakest link. Jez is the weakest link. The weakest link is Jules. Karen is the weakest link in that round. Kate is the weakest link statistically. Statistically, Lorraine is the weakest link. Statistically, Lucinda is the weakest link. Maeve is the weakest link. Nicholas is the weakest link statistically. The weakest link is Ravi. Rose is the weakest link. Samantha is the weakest link statistically. Statistically, Sapphire is the weakest link. Sarah is the weakest link in that round. Steve is the weakest link in that round. The weakest link is Tim. Tony is the weakest link in that round. William is the weakest link.
I know, hopeless, wasn't I? No, Anne, I'm not very good. I'm not up to it, no, Anne. At first, I was really scared, but then I started to get a little bit more confident, and I thought I might be able to... But then I did something really silly. I think I just stopped thinking. I do that, you see. And then it was too late. I was out. Oh well. Even I know you've got to get as many answers right as you can, and he just doesn't seem to be doing very well. I'm sorry, but she doesn't really seem to know too many, does she? He seemed to be taking a very long time about things. I thought she might get a bit quicker, but she didn't seem to. I just wish he'd put a bit more in the bank for us, that's all. I know it's hard, but you've got to try and remember to bank a little bit as well. He seems a bit of a grump, really, and I don't think he's making the team very happy. I think she might just be a little bit too selfish or something, and that's not really very good for the rest of the team, is it? I'm really sorry. I know it's rotten, but I'm voting them off because I think they're the strongest player, and I've got even less chance of winning if they stay. I didn't like it, not one little bit. People glaring at me and muttering under their breath. I hated it. And I think they're all really rotten to me, trying to get me to hurry up. No wonder I got so many wrong, them picking on me like that. And Anne, she just made me so nervous. I was too frightened to even look at her. I'm really nervous. I was trying really hard not to make a mistake. Everything's just happening too quick for me. I was so relieved to get out of there. Never again. I mean, all the people were nice and everything, but no, it's too much. I just wanted to cry half the time. And when she looked at me, no, I'd never do it again. Not for £1,000,000. No way. I'll go first. I'll go second. I'm really sorry, but I tried. Maybe I'm not absolutely the worst one. Well, I hope not. I don't think I was that bad. I did get some right. I'm Jenny. I'm 31 and I'm a receptionist. I live in Guildford in Surrey. I like going out, movies, makeovers and manicures. I still can't believe it. It's just, oh my goodness, no. It can't be true. I'm so happy.
Yes, I suppose I could have done better. No, you're right. I was rubbish. I guess I just couldn't hack it in that round. I was just really stupid, you know? Like some of them questions, I knew them, you know? It was just like, you know, I couldn't get my words out or something. Nah, I'm gutted, actually. I should have done much better. Like, too many wrong ones, yeah? I just don't reckon she can hack it out there. Man, he's so slow, worse than a physics lecture. She needs to do something about this hanging about, saying nothing thing. I'm desperate for some loot here, but with him around, I ain't going to get any. She ain't doing nothing to help us to get some cash together. But it just reminded me of this really boring geography teacher I got, and I can't handle it. I don't know what her problem is, but she didn't like me and I don't like her. That's it, I suppose. We just can't handle people who get, like, you know, everything right, you know? So if I want to get my hands on the dosh, got to get rid of them, right? Yeah. I just think it's because I'm not into some of the things the others are, you know, so they reckon they should get rid of me. Fit enough, I suppose, but I just hope they get some questions on stuff I know about. Then they'll be sorry. It's like there's, you know, too much pressure happening. I never did half that sort of stuff at school. I thought I got some pretty rubbish questions. Oh, it was fun. I had a laugh. It doesn't matter that I didn't win. I never thought I would. I was just, you know, it was really cool being on telly and everything. I'll go first. I'll go second. Yeah, I don't know why I'm being picked on when the others aren't up to much either. Yeah, well, you know, that's how it goes. I just reckon everyone's ganging up me because I'm the youngest. Hi, I'm Jez. I'm 16, I'm doing my GCSEs. I live in Longfield in Kent. I'm into skateboarding, action films and all types of techno music. It's really cool. My mates at school won't believe it. Neither would the teachers. Maybe I'll start getting better grades from now on, eh?
Yeah, I blew it there. It was a bit of a bummer, yeah. Nah, you're right. I did really badly. I let everyone down on the team, you know? That's what annoys me the most. That I didn't do my best and make a contribution. I should have just chilled out a bit and taken a bit more time.
He just kept blowing it, even on the really easy ones. You can't carry people like we had to with her in that round. He seemed really hassled and that wasted a lot of time. He needs to chill out. She needs to get her head together and stop wasting so much time. He wasn't like thinking about things, so we missed loads of chances to build the pot up. You've got to keep an eye on how the money thing is going, but she didn't, and that blew it, so we hardly got anything. It's just like, I could tell we're not coming from the same place, and so he and I were never going to make it on the same team. There was no communication happening between us, you know? Like, we just didn't connect. Yeah, well, I suppose it's not, like, very cool or anything, but they never seem to get any wrong, so if I made it all the way, I'd never beat them. So I guess it's best to get rid of someone like that now.
I think it was personal. Nothing to do with what I did for the team. I could tell straight away that some of the others didn't really like me, so they thought it would be a laugh to gang up on me. If that's how people want to play, fine, but I'm not into that sort of thing. A lot of the questions were about things I'm just not into. Things were just getting too frantic and hassled. There's too many distractions in here, you know? I don't mind losing. That's not what it's about. It's about having a laugh, meeting some new people, that sort of thing. So I guess I'm pretty pleased, really. I hope the others all do really well. Good luck, guys. I'll go first. I'll go second. No way is that fair. I did what I could, and I think that's the important thing. Hiya, I'm Jules. I'm 21 and I'm studying fashion design at St Martin's College, London. I'm into visual and performance art, travel and anything connected to fashion. I suppose the best thing about winning is that I won't have to take out another student loan. But I thought the way we played as a team was really great, and for me, that was the most important thing, I got loads wrong, I know. Oh God, I was awful, wasn't I? I know, Anne, I'm so silly. I'm just so stupid. I'm not normally this thick. Just the lights and all the people, I got a bit, They should let you have more time. It's as bad as being at work. Hurry up, do this, do that. I should have just taken my time more. Oh, well. I think he got a couple wrong, didn't he? I think she must have got more wrong than me. He did seem to dilly-dally a bit, I think. She was just a bit, what's the word? Hesitant, that's it. Even I know you've got to try and build up the bank, but he wasn't doing that. I know I shouldn't talk because I can never seem to save a penny either, but then this isn't real money, is it? So she could have put a little bit aside, I suppose. I don't like to be horrible, but he just seemed, a bit... Do you know what I mean? Oh dear, she was just kind of, sort of, I don't know really. And I didn't like what she was wearing at all. They do seem very clever. And I know it's not very nice and I feel awful. I just think I've got a bit more of a chance if they get voted off. I just think they got rid of me because I like to take my time. I just wanted to make sure I was getting the right answers, that's all. Then they all started getting stressed at me and... I think it's better to think and get it right, don't you? It was all just going too fast for me. I'm much better on questions about teleprograms. Mine was so much harder than all the others. It was really lovely, the whole thing, so I don't mind going. They were right to chuck me off. I got loads of things wrong and took too long. But I hope they all do really well. I'll go first. I'll go second. Now you're just picking on me. I'm not as bad as all that. I'm not as stupid as I look, I don't reckon I'm as bad as some of them I could mention. Hi, I'm Karen. I'm 25 and I'm a secretary from Romford in Essex. I like meeting with friends, watching television and shopping. Wow, it's great. I can't believe it. I'm going to have my hair done and take a lovely long holiday somewhere nice and sunny, get a tan and, I don't know what else. Maybe I'll get a promotion at work now. Show the boss I'm not as hopeless as he thinks.
One or two there were wrong, yes. Surprisingly, there were some I didn't know. I should really have done a good deal better. It's very frustrating. I really should have done a good deal better and I made some silly, silly mistakes. I really only had the one bad round and that seemed to cost me. I just needed to be quicker and more definite at times too. We cannot afford to carry someone who continually makes fundamental errors like he's doing. I'm surprised that someone who gets as many things wrong as she does was even allowed on the show. I'm very conscious of time, but I have to say he clearly isn't, and that is costing us dearly. There's no way that someone who takes as long as she does over every question is really contributing to the team's efforts. He's showing very little awareness of the need to bank money, so we have fallen well short of my expectations. She isn't paying attention, I think. She missed far too many chances to bank money in that round. I think his attitude to the game is all wrong. You need to be a clear, level-headed thinker, and he obviously isn't. To do well out here, you need to know your stuff and keep your mind clear. I don't think she can do either. So we need to get rid of her. It is, admittedly, a risky procedure getting rid of such a strong player, but one worth undertaking if their removal contributes to my chance of success. I'm outraged. I don't possibly see how I could have been the weakest link when clearly I was the strongest player out there. Stronger probably than the rest of them put together. I couldn't possibly begin to guess who they'll vote off next because I simply don't understand the way they're voting at all. I did seem to get a number of questions outside my fields. I did feel under time pressure somewhat. I don't know how anybody could be expected to answer some of those questions. I don't feel too bad about going out because the questions I got wrong were simply ones I didn't know the answers to, so there wasn't much I could do. I seem to know the answer to others' questions most of the time. but not my own. I suppose these things happen. I'll go first. I'll go second. I'm afraid I think that's nonsense, Anne. You're rather exaggerating the extent of my performance. I feel my contribution elsewhere is being overlooked. I'm Kate, 22, a medical student at Edinburgh University. I'm fascinated by all fields of science, but take an interest in the arts and current affairs as well. It was tough at times, but I felt pretty confident throughout. In the end, I think it was the fact that I was able to handle the pressure better than most. Aye, not too good, no. I certainly wasn't in very good form. I'd better get into shape fast. I was giving answers too quickly instead of thinking about them because I was too aware of the time. I needed to try and focus more. It was only right that I went. In a team game, you can't afford the sort of unforced errors he's been making. The way she was getting things wrong, we were lucky not to get relegated in that round. He's just too slow getting out from the blocks. He answers every question like it's a marathon, not a sprint. She'd never make a runner. A walker, perhaps, but not a runner. I want to be playing in the Premiership, not the 3rd Division, and you need money for that. He isn't banking anything for us. We're here to do the business and make some money. So if she's not doing that, we need to have people who will. If you've got someone who's not pulling their weight, they've got to go on the transfer list. I don't think she's really got the idea of this working as a team business. And someone like that, I don't want them in my squad. It's a purely tactical move, Anne. I just think I'll have more chance of finishing top of the league if they're not in the competition. I don't think I should have been voted off at all. I banked money and answered correctly. I may have got 1 or 2 questions wrong, but so did everyone else. I feel like the whole thing's been a waste of time. I'm usually much better than this under pressure. Obviously, I should have prepared better. I'm finding it really hard to concentrate in here. I'm quite relieved, actually. Things were getting quite intense out there. The team were getting uptight and banking too early. I didn't like the feel of things. I'm quite glad to be off. I probably deserved it anyway. I'll go first. I'll go second. Others' performances weren't up to much either. There's no way I was the worst out there in that round. I'm Lorraine. I'm 40 and I'm a PE teacher in Glasgow. I love all sports, both playing and spectating, and go to watch Scotland whenever I can. I'm really pleased to have won. There were others that I thought were better than me, so winning is a real achievement. I guess all my hard training has paid off in the end.
Looks, that was a bit of a disaster, yeah? Crikey, I'm jolly well going to have to pull my finger out, aren't I? Dear me, I'm such a silly Billy. Fancy mucking that one up. Actually, I'm rather surprised myself, you know. There I was doing jolly well, then, well, you saw what happened. Always been my trouble, that. Can only concentrate for about 2 minutes at a time. Still, doesn't really matter. It would have been nice to show 1 or 2 people I'm not the thicko they think I am. Crikey, did you see how many he got wrong? I can't have that. She just seemed to keep getting them wrong, poor old thing. He seemed to be waiting for a bus sometimes. It might be fashionable to arrive late for a party, but I think she needs to be a bit quicker here. I know it's vulgar to talk about money, but he could have helped us to build up the old nest egg a little bit more. I was hoping to get a nice little stash from this, but with her around, we'll probably end up with naff all. I'm a people person, Anne. That's what I do. I usually just click with people, but I'm afraid with him I just haven't. We just don't seem to have hit it off at all. I suppose some people are like that, just not very good in social situations. I'm not sure it's very sporting and all that, but crikey. If someone like me is going to have a chance, I can only do it if there's no real brain boxes left. I mean, they seem jolly nice and everything, just, well, sometimes you have to play a little bit dirty. Yeah, well, I think it was jolly well unfair them booting me off like that. Crikey, there were 1 or 2 of them there who were far worse at the game than I was. They all rather seemed to gang up on me a bit. Just like being back at school, really. I'm happy to get away from it, I can tell you. Don't need all that again. I really am getting quite cross at the number of questions we seem to be fluffing. Some of these other chaps here really don't seem to be with it either, you know. I do think the team as a whole needs to improve, not just me. Everyone really was jolly nice, you know. Even Anne, though she can come across a bit like an old French mistress. I simply adored every minute of it, even though I was rather nervous. I made a bit of an ass of myself once or twice, but nothing new in that, eh? I'll go first. I'll go second. I do wish you'd have a word with some of the others. They're the ones letting the side down. That really is quite a ghastly thing to say to someone, you know. I do wish you'd have a word with some of the others. They're the ones letting the side down. Yeah, hi, I'm Lucinda. I'm 39. I run a catering business in Kensington. My pastimes are the countryside, riding, and organising charity events. Who'd have thought it? Little old me, turning out to be a bit of an egghead. Really is quite a hoot. Can't wait to see what they say at the tennis club.
Sure, I didn't do too well there. No, not real good, was it? God, yes, that was awful, wasn't it? Ah, jeez, the fellas in the pub are going to give me a lot of stick now, especially with some of the questions I got wrong. They'll all be telling me how easy they were. Maybe they were right. Perhaps I better not go home at all. When someone keeps making silly mistakes like he did, I think it's best they go, you know? Sure, now, she did get a lot of questions wrong there. In the pub back home, if I took as long to pour a point as he did answering, they'd lynch me. We need her to go so we get through the questions a bit more quickly. If I had to rely on him to make me enough money to get me fare back home, I think I'd be stuck here forever. I was hoping we'd be able to make a few bob, you know, but she didn't seem to be able to bank anything at all. In my job, you know, I'm used to talking to all sorts of people, but some you might say hello right enough, but you wouldn't want to sit down and have a real good gossip with them, and he's definitely one of those. She and I just haven't hit it off. Maybe I'm a bit loud for her or something, but I could tell straight away we'd never get on, so I guess it's best if she gets off. Ah, sure, it's a tough game, you know, and if you want to be a winner, you've got to play tough too. And they're pretty good, you know, so I think they've got to go. I just think, you know, a few of them out there, they're a bit snobby-like. Don't think the likes of me should really be on here, you know. To be honest, I'd be delighted to see any of them go next. None of them are particularly nice people, really. Well, you know, it was all going pretty fast there at one stage. I was doing the best that I could, trying to get the pot up and that. I thought I should at least have a guess, you know. These things happen, you know. I wasn't probably doing as well as the rest of them anyway. It's been great fun, though. And everyone here's been grand. Thanks a lot. I'll go first. I'll go second. I'm pretty sure I was doing better than some others, you know. I was trying as hard as I could. I just got a lot of tough questions and all that. Hello, I'm Maeve, I'm 28, and I'm a barmaid from Cork. I love watching old movies, playing all types of sport, and having a good time with my friends. It's grand, all this way, and something now to show for it. I hope they'll be watching back home. They better be.
I agree, I could possibly have performed a little better there. Perhaps there are one or two areas where I need to be a little sharper. Made a bit of a hash of things there, yes. I'm at a loss for words. I really let myself down, and that's not a feeling I'm very familiar with. I can't quite believe some of the quite absurd answers I gave. I am quite rightly ashamed of myself. Simply too many weak areas to his game. She is wrong too often, and nothing more than that. He clearly isn't used to making important decisions, or any decisions, quickly in the way that I am, and that's dragging us down. Oh, she's a ditherer. We don't need someone like that on the team. My job is to make money, but he wouldn't last 5 minutes in the city with his financial acumen, or lack of it. I don't really think she's used to seeing such big sums of money, and so every time it came to her, she missed the chance to make some. Some people don't have what it takes. This is a battle, not a playground, and he just hasn't got the personality or intellect to survive. She's not tough enough to be here, so she shouldn't be. My business is all about minimizing risk, and that's what I'm doing here. With them out of the way, my chances of winning increase dramatically. So it's a gamble I'm fully prepared to take. I am quite simply livid. I think the behaviour of the others has been intolerable. My performance outstripped any number of others quite significantly, and I think they've been short-sighted in the extreme in injecting me at this stage. I'm afraid their return on their investment is going to look pretty poor without my contribution. I'm not really sure the questions are pitched at my level. I don't actually think the questions are coming across awfully cleverly. There's a rather frenetic atmosphere developing that doesn't help one's concentration. I can see that, yes, possibly. I hadn't been doing quite as well when I was voted off, so I suppose that's only right and proper. I certainly would have done the same thing without a moment's hesitation. I hope they manage to fill their boots. I'll go first. I'll go second. Clearly there are others contributing far less than I am. It's quite preposterous to suggest that I was the weakest player in that round. I'm Nicholas, 45, a commodities trader from Chalfont St Giles in Buckinghamshire. I'm keenly interested in current affairs and would like to get involved in both national and local politics. Really, I had expected to do pretty well. I would have been shocked if I hadn't. Having said that, I enjoyed the competitive edge to it all, and that made winning more fulfilling than I expected it to be. Good show all round.
I know, and I really better get my act together. I'm pretty disappointed with my performance, you could say. Some of the ones I got wrong were pretty easy, yes. I was appalling. No two ways about it. Missed some really easy questions and hesitated far too much. Nearly all the ones I got wrong, if I just thought a bit longer, that's why I'm so hacked off. I should have done a lot better. Accuracy is important to me, so I hate seeing someone make simple mistakes like he's been doing. It seemed as though every question you asked her, she got wrong. We need to speed things up a bit if we're going to get anywhere, and I don't think he can handle it. I'm hacked off at how long she takes to answer all the time. I deal with money all the time, but I think he isn't used to it. All the chances to bank he missed. We're never going to build up a decent pot if she keeps missing chances to bank like she did in that round. I just don't think he's handling the pressure. and isn't really worried about the rest of the team. Those sort of people are pretty hard to work with. I just don't think she's got much to offer the team, and we'll do a whole lot better when she's not here. We might make a bit less money without them, but then I think I've got a better chance of getting it if I don't have to play against them. So I'm just trying to give myself the best possible chance of winning. The questions I got seemed more difficult than the others, and I seemed to bank the most, but they got rid of me all the same. I just think they've made a big mistake, as there are others in the team who are far weaker and were holding them back a lot more than I was. I'd be really surprised if they managed to get up to a decent total with the people they've got left. I don't think I'm doing any worse than the others. Plenty of people are making a mess of things. It's not just me. At least I wasn't hesitating or wasting time. I've always been a big fan of the show, so just getting on it was really good for me. I'll probably have to take a bit of stick from the lads, but, that's okay. And I got to meet Anne, so it can't be all that bad. I'll go first. I'll go second. Everyone should be allowed to have one bad round. I really don't think my mistakes were that bad. I think you're making it far worse than it was. I'm Ravi, age 24, and I'm a trainee accountant living in Leicester. I play football with the local Sunday League team, and I like going to the cinema in my spare time. I thought I had a chance of doing well right from the start. Then I seemed to get into a bit of form and started to feel really confident. I think I probably was the strongest player. So overall, yeah, I probably deserve to win.
Oh, I know, Anne. It was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? I think even my grandchildren could have answered a couple of those. I'm not doing very well. I hope the team gives me another chance. Once I got going, I was really starting to enjoy myself. And then to make a silly mistake like I did, oh dear me, that was quite awful. Having got so far, I would have liked to have gone on, really. Starting to feel really determined. He just seems to be making more mistakes than the rest of us. I'm sorry, Anne, but she did get some rather easy ones wrong in that last round. I'm a granny, Anne, but you'd think he was the way he was dithering. No one expects you to rush, but I think even I'm quicker at this than she is. I'd like to win some money to give my grandchildren a treat, but he isn't really putting enough away for us. I'd love to make a little extra money just to supplement my pension, but I'll be coming away with nothing if she keeps forgetting to bank. I never like to say anything unpleasant about people. Let's just say that he is not someone I'd like to take afternoon tea with. Oh dear, she just wasn't my type at all, I'm afraid. I don't know why, but I just never managed to warm to her. I know it's a bit brutal, Anne, but they're so much better than I am. I've got no chance against them, so I'm using my vote just to try and make things a bit easier for myself. Perhaps some of the younger ones felt I was slowing them down a bit, but I do like to think before I speak. And as for some of the questions, I don't think you can expect a lady of my years to know such things. The others just got impatient with me and wanted me off. Bit unfair, I think. I just think it was all going a bit too fast for me. I didn't hear the questions properly, dear. I do think I got all of the easy ones right, though. Everyone's been so lovely and charming. Really made me feel at home. And Anne was so lovely too. I really enjoyed myself. I hope my grandchildren enjoy watching their gran on the telly. That's the main reason I came on. I'll go first. I'll go second. A few of the questions are about things I hadn't really heard of before. I don't think it's right the way people gang up on each other. Look at some of the others. I'm sure they're doing just as badly. I'm Rose. I'm 59 and I'm a housewife and grandmother from Luton. My hobbies are gardening, watching nature programmes and embroidery. Oh my, this is a surprise. There I was with all these bright young people. Well, I guess it just goes to show. Perhaps there's life in the old dog yet. It's just ridiculous. I should have known that. I'm staggered at how badly I'm doing. I feel really upset at what just went on. I think I let myself get rattled by what the others were doing, worrying about them, how badly some of them were doing. And so when my own questions came up, my mind was elsewhere. Next time, I'll definitely be worrying about myself, not the well-being of the team. The number of wrong answers he gave is simply unacceptable. I'm sure the statistics will back me up when I say she was incorrect far more than anyone else. Every time you come to him, time just disappears. He's far too slow and ponderous. She clearly lacks confidence in her own abilities, but there's no reason why the rest of us should suffer because of her indecision. Banking money is essential to success, but he did not contribute at all in that round. In terms of money banked, she let everybody down in that round, so we need to get rid of her. Fast. I think he lacks dynamism, ambition, vision. I want to be on a team with winners. I can't see us getting anywhere with her on the team. I don't really think she wants to be here, so I guess she's going to get her wish. There are times when you've just got to admit that someone's got the better of you. So rather than straightforward confrontation, you've got to try a different approach. Voting them off seems to be the sensible thing to do. I am furious. No one seems to have thought out a strategy about when to bank, that sort of thing. That was all left up to me. I'm the only one doing it. Without me, there'd probably be nothing in the pot, and then they go and... I hope that's precisely what they end up with. Nothing. I mean, some of these questions, they're just ridiculous. There's no strategy, no plan. Everyone just seems to be playing for themselves. I think I could do with a bit more support from one or two people. I did all that I could for the team, so I hope that's appreciated. I hope they manage to build on what I did for them and go on and make a good sum. I wish them lots of luck. I'll go first. I'll go second. I really don't think I was remotely the weakest player in that round. I do think the team's being let down rather more badly by one or two other people. I'm Samantha, I'm 20 and I'm a retail manager. I come from Taunton. My hobbies are jogging, staying fit and taking my Labradors for long walks in the countryside. As I was the one who seemed to be doing most of the work, I certainly answered the most questions correctly and banked the most money, then I suppose it's only right that I should have won. It is what I came here for, after all.
Yes, perhaps a little disappointing. Oh dear, I have been a naughty girl. Oops, I do hope the others will be able to forgive me. Oh dear, I just got rather flustered. All those people looking at me, my mind started to wander, and I don't know where. I suppose I must have been thinking about other things. I'll just have to find some sweet, charming man to take me on that Caribbean cruise I promised myself if I won. He just kept getting it wrong, and I'm a girl who likes things done properly. I do hope she doesn't get so many things in real life wrong. There are times, Anne, when being fast is what's needed. He doesn't seem to appreciate that. Sometimes I like to linger over things myself, but I think she went a teeny-weeny bit too far in that round. I'm afraid my tastes are rather expensive, and he isn't really making enough money to keep me satisfied. Perhaps she isn't used to lots of money. She did seem a bit too frightened of it to want to put it in the bank. And I have met many, many people in my time. Most of them I managed to hit it off with, but I'm afraid he and I just don't have the right sort of chemistry. For some reason, I just seem to get on better with men. Playing dirty, of course, isn't something I normally do, Anne, but I am making an exception here. A girl's got to look after herself, doesn't she? And they're strong. Just too strong. I have to say, I think one or two of the women on the team may have taken against me. I can't imagine why. They just didn't seem to want me there, no matter what I did. Still, I'm used to that. People have always been rather envious of me. Really, I suppose I must have been thinking about something else. I'm afraid there are some things I'm just not interested in, as much as others. I like things to go a little bit more slowly. Rushing always upsets me. Sometimes disappointing things happen. One is let down. But everyone has been so kind, so hospitable. And meeting Anne face to face was really quite enchanting. I'll go first. I'll go second. Anne, I do think you're being just the teeniest bit rough with me. I do think one or two of the others' concentration seems to be elsewhere more than mine, but I've been trying so hard to please everybody. Hello, I'm Sapphire. I'm 38 and I'm an interior designer from Oxford. I love socialising with friends, keeping fit, and all things physical. It's all been overwhelming. Everyone has been so simply marvellous. I love them all. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been a wonderful team.
You're absolutely right. That round was ghastly. I really had expected to be doing better than this. Really quite appalling. I don't know what's going wrong. My goodness, what a disaster. Yikes. So silly on one or two of them. I really didn't deserve to win. I'm really quite cross, actually. Fancy not knowing some of those. I won't be able to hold my head up in Harrogate society again. Plainly, he's not as strong as the rest of us, and we're having to try and make up for his wrong answers all the time. The number of wrong answers she's given has been, quite frankly, staggering. I don't know what the problem is, but every answer he gives us seems to take an eternity. She does appear to have rather a lot of difficulty in simply making up her mind whether or not to answer. Far too many times he didn't bank money when clearly that was the logical thing to do. I think she could have been far more practical where banking money is concerned. I don't like his attitude to the game or to the rest of the team. I don't think he's very cooperative or making much of a contribution. It doesn't appear to me that she really wanted to be part of a team, and so, under the circumstances, I think we'll all benefit from her removal. They're clearly a very strong player, and common sense dictates that if you're going to win, your best chance is if you're confronting the weakest possible rival in the final round. And for that reason, I'm voting them off. I suspect there was a little envy or inverted snobbery going on out there. Because I speak well and have an education, people are envious of that. Well, I'm afraid they've only succeeded in hurting themselves, as I'm sure I would have helped them to a far greater total than they're going to reach now. How very, very silly they've all been. I really don't think the spread of the questions has been quite fair. There are some things one simply can't be expected to know about. I do feel that everyone is just getting a little frenzied. Do you know, I actually really rather enjoyed the whole experience, despite not doing as well as I'd hoped. There was a lot of good-natured fun and joking, and everyone seemed in pretty good spirits throughout. And as for Anne, well, I thought she was absolutely delightful. I'll go first. I'll go second. To put it bluntly, there are others who are helping the team a good deal less than I am. I don't really think that sort of comments are going to help matters. To put it bluntly, there are others who are helping the team a good deal less than I am. My name is Sarah. I'm 47 and I'm a journalist. I live in Harrogate. I love meeting and talking with new people and reading society and fashion magazines. I think I managed to win in spite of some of the others who clearly would have gotten rid of me had I given them the chance. However, I managed to perform so consistently well that they knew they couldn't afford to. I'm very pleased, naturally, and just happy that I was able to show myself in a positive light.
That is correct. My success rate was low. I have performed poorly, but I foresee an improvement shortly. Evidence would seem to suggest that I scored poorly in that round. I seem to have created difficulties for myself in one or two places by not being completely sure of my response before making it, or alternatively, suffering from a lack of confidence and delaying my response times unreasonably. I feel very disappointed to have let myself down, but more importantly, to have also let down my colleagues who so generously supported me. To them, I can only apologise. On too many occasions, I found that his answers did not correspond with the facts as they are generally known. Her responses to your questioning were very poor in every respect. I believe that his hesitation when answering was detrimental to the overall possibility of the team's success. Her reluctance to give any sort of answer at all often was costly to our overall performance. There appears to be a marked reluctance on his part to accumulate wealth for the team. In respect of building up the team's wealth, I feel that her contribution was well below that of my fellow competitors and myself. I am astute at assessing people's characters, and in this instance I feel that he is not wholly reliable. I don't believe that her personality is compatible with being part of a team such as this, and that the beneficial effects of her removal will be all too plain for everyone to see. This player's overall strength seemed to indicate that I would not be competitive against them if I were to reach the final round, so I have taken action to ensure that this eventuality does not materialize. Well, clearly matters were not being conducted in an open and honest manner. I mean, people do tend to feel intimidated by my status as a law enforcement officer, and perhaps my presence was making them feel uncomfortable. But as I always say, if you've done nothing wrong, why should you fear the police? Perhaps they should think about that. I am not sure the mode of questioning was one that I recognise. Well, there were several occasions when I was not completely sure of my facts. I do feel that there is an element of conspiracy present. I would like to thank all involved for their generous and warm hospitality and for ensuring that events throughout the day ran smoothly and without incident. I'll go first. I'll go second. I would refute any such claim that I was not contributing to the team. I would like to see some evidence for your assertion. I would put it to you that your statement can be questioned in several respects. My name is Steve. I am 37 years old, and I am a police constable based in Northampton. My interests include studying motor repairs and the history of the steam engine. I am most delighted to have been successful. Thorough and rigorous preparation was the key, and I am pleased that the many long, lonely hours of study I put in at the section house have paid off. Maybe this victory will go some way towards restoring the morale of police officers all over Britain.
That's correct. I was certainly not functioning at maximum capacity in that round. I will endeavour to improve hereafter. Indeed, my answer to question ratio was very low. It doesn't make sense. The words that I uttered and the thoughts in my mind did not always seem to correspond. Perhaps the pressure produced by the televisual scenario was a variable that I had not taken into account in my preparation. Yes. a valuable lesson for me to learn. Preparation is the key, and I had a bit of a system failure, I'm afraid. The proportion of incorrect answers he entered was too great for my system to cope with. I think she must have suffered a system crash in that round. His download time appears to be far too long. If my system took as long as she did to boot up, I'd opt for an upgrade immediately. His ability to accumulate and store money-related data is poor. Well, maybe she needs a spreadsheet package to help her with the financial side of things, because she did very poorly on the banking side. Some systems are not compatible. That's the case here. My hardware and his software just don't work together. She's a Mac and I'm a PC, and never the twain shall meet. I believe that the quality of their overall performance is of a sufficiently strong nature to prohibit my progress should I reach the game's conclusion, and therefore it seems wise to terminate their connection forthwith. I was most discomforted at being ejected at this stage of the game. Well, undoubtedly my membership of Mensa was intimidating to some people, and they felt that in order to secure a better chance of the bounty for themselves, they should opt to continue without my input. Yes. That would seem to be the logical conclusion. How unfortunate. I was having problems interpreting the format of the questions. My brain isn't processing the answers fast enough, Anne. Well, there must be a data blockage between my mouth and my brain. When you analyse the results, it was obvious that the errors I made significantly hindered the team's progress, so they were certainly justified in seeking my removal. The day, nonetheless, has been a fascinating and absorbing experience. I hope they continue to prosper. I will go first. I will go second. I have to disagree with your analysis of that round. Your statement is not a fair representation of my performance in that round. I'm Tim. I'm 29. I'm a programmer from Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire. I'm also interested in steam engines and native British birds. Well, statistically, before the game began, I predicted that I had the best chance of winning, so I'm delighted to see that the forecast I made to this effect was realised. I intend to use my winnings in the development of a new software application I've been working on. It happens, Anne. Even to the best of us. I wasn't too good in that round, but I'll be back on top in the next. Well, you can't be perfect all the time. You know, you think it doesn't matter, and then you look back. I really feel I could have done it, you know, if I'd just taken it a bit more, I don't know, seriously or something. If I had my time again, well, I mean, you know, who can say?
Every time it came to him, bang, another one wrong. I don't reckon she got her act together at all. I was falling asleep waiting for him to answer half the time. I don't know what she was waiting for, but the time it took her to answer. We're here to win some dosh, but he doesn't quite seem to have cottoned on to that yet. Maybe she's not interested in making a bit of cash, but some of us are, and we can't with her around. Some people you just don't gel with, and he's definitely one of them. Far too serious and dull for me, so he's got to go. We just haven't clicked. Win some, lose some, but she's definitely the loser here. You win some, you lose some, and they look certain to win, so bang, they got to go.
You know, I just think the others didn't really like me because I tried to play the game with a smile on my face. They're all so serious. It's only money. I mean, after all, not life or death. But some of them look like they haven't laughed for the last 15 years. I suppose they thought I wasn't taking it seriously. Maybe I wasn't compared with them, but I'd rather lose and have a laugh than win their way. I'm too used to being the one asking the questions. Oh, you mean I'm supposed to give the right answer? Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. I don't care about the money. I didn't come for that. I just wanted to have some fun, get on the telly, something to show the lads at work, you know, that sort of thing. And as for Anne, what a corker, eh?
I'll go first. I'll go second.
I look around, I see people who haven't a hope of doing as much for the team as me. I reckon I've got plenty more right than I did wrong. Well, that counts for something, doesn't it? Hiya. I'm Tony, I'm 39, and I'm a recruitment consultant from Chichester. I'm into adventure sports, cycling, and quizzes of all sorts. As my old man always used to say, the winners can laugh, the losers can please themselves.
Yes, some serious errors there. My attention to detail was a bit awry. I wasn't quite focused in one or two places. It's those vital lapses at critical moments that upset me most. That's not the way I normally operate, so I'm really gutted that I have been caught off guard like that. I made some really fundamental errors of judgment, and I'm sorry to say they cost me dearly. I deserve to go when I did. If I made mistakes like he did, I would be out of a job in no time. I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror if I made as many mistakes as she has. I'm used to making snap decisions. He seems unable to do anything fast. Planes would be in a holding pattern forever if she had to do my job. She never seems to get around to bringing them into land. I'm here to enjoy myself, yes, but I want to take something significant home with me too. And he just isn't helping. I don't think she made any contribution financially to the team at all. I just know that he and I aren't working well together. When that is the case, something has to give, and on this occasion, it is him. Well, there are some people who you wouldn't want to be in the control tower if you were trying to land a 747, and, she's definitely one of them. If they stay, I can't see much hope for me, so I'm voting them off now to avoid a crash landing later on. To be voted off at this stage is a shock. In my work, I am used to concentrating for long periods of time, so my expertise would have been more useful as the game went on. Mind you, it's some of the others who should be worrying about concentrating on who was the weakest link, for example, because it certainly was not me. I'm finding the pressure of the situation rather a strain. I usually like to have a bit more time before I make an important decision. Wearing headphones all day must have hampered my hearing. Teamwork is important to me. I think that's what we had to do out there today. So although I did not win, I was really happy being a part of something positive. I hope they all really do well. I will go first. I will go second. Yes, well, controlling airplanes in the air is a lot less demanding. I don't feel I'm really getting much support from the rest of the team. I'm William, age 35. I'm an air traffic controller living in Red Hill. I love reading, and I'm interested in landscape photography and DIY.
Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. 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 Let's play the weakest link. We now go into a sudden death situation. The questions will continue in pairs. If one of you gets your question correct, then the other will have to answer correctly or lose. Let's play sudden death.
Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I think it's the top one. I think it's the bottom one. Oh dear. I do know this. Pass.
In science, which one of these answers is correct? Which one of these is correct? Select the correct answer. Which one of these is right? In nature, select the right answer. In geography, in the arts, in entertainment, in sport, in history, in politics, in literature, correct. Time's up. Wrong?
No idea, I'm afraid. Oh, yes. Pass. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Bank. It should be the top one. It should be the bottom one.
I've no answer to that. I know the answer. Pass. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Bank. Indeed, the correct answer is the top one. Indeed, the correct answer is the bottom one.
I got no idea. Result. Pass. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Bank. It's the top one for sure. It's the bottom one for sure.
I've not got the foggiest. Right, yep, I know this. Pass. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Bank. It's definitely the top answer. It's definitely the bottom answer.
I ain't got a clue. Sorted. Pass. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Bank. It's got to be the top one. It's got to be the bottom one.
Please select your contestant for the Weakest Link Championship. It's time to go to the studio. Up to 7 contestants may now be selected to play The Weakest Link. Use options to change console settings. Here's your chance to bend the rules. As a single player, you may now select your contestant to play The Weakest Link. The players voted as follows: Angela, Arthur, Austin, Barry, Eddie, Gary, Jenny, Jez, Jules, Karen, Kate, Lorraine, Lucinda, Maeve, Nicholas, Ravi, Rose, Samantha, Sapphire, Sarah, Steve, Tim, Tony, William.
I don't know. Yes, hang on, I've got it. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I think it's the top answer. I think it's the bottom answer.
Oh, no way, Jose. Oh, yeah, pass. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Bank. I think, it's the top one. I think, it's the bottom one.
To know that one. Cool. Cool, I got it. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. It's got to be the first answer. It's got to be the bottom answer. I just don't know, sorry. Oh, I know this. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. Yes, it's the top one. Yes, it's the bottom one.
No idea. I'm certain of this one. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. Clearly it's the top one. Clearly it's the bottom one. I don't know this. I've got it. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I'm certain it's the top one. I'm certain it's the bottom one.
Crikey, I'm stumped. Yeah, I know this. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. Yeah, it's the top one. Yeah, it's the bottom one.
Sure, I don't know that. No, I think I've got it. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I think it's the top one. I think it's the bottom one.
Tony, Samantha, Gary, Jez, Karen, Kate, Lucinda, Jules, Christina, Maeve, Barry, Steve, Ravi, Rose, Sarah, Nicholas, Angela, Sapphire, Tim, William, Arthur, Austin, Lorraine, Eddie, Jenny.
Nope, beyond me that one. Oh yes, got this. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. Quite simply, it's the top one. Quite simply, it's the bottom one.
No, I think I've got it. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. The top one is the right answer. The bottom one is the right answer.
I'm sorry, dear, I don't know. Thank heavens, I know this one. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I think it might possibly be the top one. I think it might possibly be the bottom one. Haven't a clue. Certain of this one. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. Definitely the top one. Definitely the bottom one. That's quite hard, isn't it? Yes. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. I'm positive it's the top answer. I'm positive it's the bottom answer.
Haven't a clue, sorry. Yep, I know this one. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. You'll find it's the top answer. You'll find it's the bottom answer.
I do not know the answer on this occasion. I am aware of what this one may be. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. It is the top answer. It is the bottom answer.
This does not register. The answer is straightforward. Pass. Oh no. Oh yeah. Bank. The top answer is correct. The bottom answer is correct.
Got me there. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. It's the top one. It's the bottom one.
Oh, you have got me there. Yes, I seem to know that. Pass. Oh no. Oh yes. Bank. The top one is correct. The bottom one is correct.